Things are about to heat up in Baku, so it may well be well done in Baku as we go into episode 51 today of this F1 24 career mode, guys. But if you did miss the previous episode at the Italian Grand Prix, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. An immediate rear wing failure off 5 red lights. You love to see it, and chaos just ensued for the rest of the race. We crashed with our old teammate Lando Norris twice, whilst Max Verstappen shockingly returned to the top step of the podium for Red Bull Ford after many races away from it. We limped home for P9, and Ollie Behrman scored his first ever podium in Formula 1 and almost nicked second place. He was leading for most of the race. Yeah, quite a lot happened in the last episode, so definitely worth go checking that out because it was just basically chaos every single turn we took. But now, before we head into the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, we've got a secret meeting with Aston Martin, the final secret meeting before a potential early signing. And you can see actually with the recognition, they are actually going to be giving us the respect we maybe deserve as the reigning world champion. More recognition alongside Fernando Alonso than we're currently getting with George Russell. But you guys know me. I was just playing around the whole time, keeping things ticking away, keeping options open. But we will decline these talks with Mike Crack there. Walk out of the room. Hopefully they leave the door open just in case, you know, or they might not. They might be a bit insulted by that, last minute decline. But I just wanted to see what the vibe was. But at the same time, remember, when we started talking to Aston Martin, they were in a really good position in the season. Now, not so much. It's been a little bit ropey, for the last few episodes. So maybe not the best place to go into next year. And as you can see, we still lead both championships going into this next race, though. For the very first time, I have a heated rivalry. Who remembers this? I actually forgot this was even a thing. I forgot the new rivalry system has heated rivalries and career-defining rivalries. Ironically, I don't think I'm going to be playing F1 24 career mode enough to ever get and to ever come across a career-defining rivalry. It's actually laughable they made this whole new rivalry system, and probably no one out there is playing this game enough and for long enough to actually come across these different rivalry types. Like, they almost need to shrink down the amount of time it takes to get them, because at the current state of the F1 game, no one's going to be playing the career mode long enough to get to them. I mean, the fact that we came across a heated rivalry here, episode 51, is kind of crazy to me. And then also just the fact I forgot that this was even a feature in the game. But yeah, we've got a heated rivalry with Russell, which will be denoted very prominently in the race as well, next to his name every single time. So they're going to try and make a big deal of it. Whether it actually changes the way Russell drives, we're going to have to see. In past F1 games, I'm talking the older ones in the early 2010s, there was the feeling sometimes when you got a rival that there would be something in the coding that would make them more aggressive towards you then, or at least that's maybe placebo, us hoping that was what was happening. But in some cases, what was actually the case, it felt like rivals were racing you harder. So I'm really hoping that it will be the case here, and if so, that will be really interesting, because this is an inter-team rivalry, a heated one between our teammates. So actually this has played into kind of almost like the story we've had so far in the season anyway, of me being a little bit irked that I've not got the recognition I think I deserve in the Mercedes team, coming in as a reigning world champion. And of course, we've been kind of a bit annoyed at Russell not pulling his weight, so there would be a bit of tension, a bit of heated rivalry going on there. So the game has actually recognized that and very nicely come in with the official rivalry on screen. But now focusing our attention onto Baku, and it is all the same in terms of the R&D chart. Every team plateauing, maybe now looking to save resource points for that inevitable R&D change that is coming in after we got the email notification last episode that there will be an R&D regulation change. So maybe we're going to see a little bit less progress from all the teams. But to be honest, with the way the grid is set right now, with Toyota, High-Tech being very competitive, maybe Audi in spurts, Williams amazing in qualifying at least, and maybe not so in the race. Red Bull have been the top team for most of the season, but they've only, till last episode, maybe got back onto form, got back into a rhythm, setting the car up. So we're in a point of the season where everything's so competitive anyway. So if it stays as it has been, it's still going to be chaos all the way to the end. So bring it on. Let's go to qualifying.
And a warm welcome here ahead of qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Normally these streets are lined with vehicles, it's non-stop traffic jams, but today the roads are closed to everyone except the 20 best drivers in the world. It's time for qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Really have no clue how we're going to go around Azerbaijan. It is a very unique circuit, street circuit, but so many long straights, so you actually need, somewhat low wings to go well in those straights, but then you need enough downforce to navigate the tight, twisty sections, especially in Sector 2 and the start of Sector 3, as there's a big lockup from a car ahead. We've already had a little bit of our own moments here in flashes, getting on the throttle a bit too early over the curbs as well, unsettling the car. This Mercedes not feeling as stable as it maybe has been at other circuits. They're feeling a bit nervous, a bit nervy, and I'm not feeling as confident on the brakes for sure on this opening lap, so I'm not expecting a lot from this first one. This is more of a banker lap, but let's see what sort of banker we can put on as we come across the line. Oh god, no, we're 4/10 slower than Perez, we're slower than Sargent in the high-tech GP car, and by the time we start our second flying lap, the last one of the session in this short quali, we're down to P16, so this needs to be a mega lap. I mean, to be fair, the first 2 turns alone, I've gained over 0.6 of a second. So the track evolution has been crazy. But you've got some big names also down the order. Lando down in P17 there. Albon P16, which is surprising. Ocon as well. The 2 Williams not doing so well around here compared to previous circuits. As we come across the line, there was a purple sector in there, and we catapult ourselves all the way up to 3rd place. That was a very much needed second flyer, but look who is returned to proper form. Max Verstappen. Obviously, at the start of the season, he started off so strong. The Red Bull looked unreal, but then there was just an unraveling where Red Bull either went down a wrong path for development or car setup-wise or whatever. Quite a few races where they've been out of, the top 10 consistently, but Verstappen now having won again in Formula 1 is on pole. Leclerc's up there, though, 2nd place. He'll want to do well after that disappointment of a DNF last time out. Myself and Russell relatively close, at least on position 3 and 4. It's a so-so day for McLaren. It's a great day for Ollie Behrman, P6 in the high-tech GP car. Don't know what happened to Williams. Very uncharacteristically not gone well here around Baku, so that's quite interesting. But yeah, a huge shout to Behrman and also Tsunoda and the Toyota to be in the top 10 against some stiff competition. It's going to be a very interesting one. Let's see what the pace is like of the Red Bull. Are they truly going to be back for a 2nd race in a row? We're going to have to find out. Let's go to the grid.
A warm welcome to you all at home for today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, a race that in its short history has already proven no stranger to drama, and where a 4th row start is just about as likely to give you a podium as pole position, with Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez finishing 3rd from there in 2017 and 2018 respectively. Baku City Circuit then. It's an unpredictable 3.7 mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and a Mercedes alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Sainz, Behrman, Norris, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Joe, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Ocon, Albon, Oscar Piastri, and Logan Sargent. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me, a man, well, what more can I say? But he's a legend, Anthony Davidson. Let's look at their season, and particularly against their teammate. Fair to say, they've got the better of them more often than not. Now, sadly, things didn't work out for them last time. It was a bad race. Question is, though, can they recover today?
Yes, they can, Crofty. You've got to put it behind you. Whatever happened last time, I was always told as a driver, park it, forget about it. Obviously, feel the pain when it happens, but then you can't dwell on it and carry that through to the next race. So put it behind you and just crack on with this race coming your way now.
Well, just chuck everything I said about Verstappen and Red Bull being back out the window because he's got a penalty, so that's going to make things a bit harder. And we've definitely seen a characteristic of the Red Bull in the recent struggling races has been it's a horrendous car in traffic. That Red Bull is so bad at overtaking in traffic. So Verstappen with a 10-place penalty for engine components, he's going to have a tough time. This now opens up the entire race to it being Mercedes v Ferrari. Leclerc P1, Sainz P4. Myself and Russell sandwiched in between. You can see that new yellow icon for the heated rivalry. And Ollie Bearman is on the timing ladder already. He's in the top 5. It could be a huge day for him off the back of a podium at Monza, joining his two, Ferrari family, so to speak, in the top 5 at the start as we go to 5 red lights. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix is underway. Leclerc has a good start off pole position. He's going to come across to squeeze us, to block us off, and that's going to open up the door for our teammate George Russell on the outside up into 2nd place, and that was all due to Leclerc pinching us. And now we've been attacked by Ollie Bearman, no less. The high-tech up into P4. Where the hell is Sainz? Stroll is P5. Sainz has had a horrendous getaway. Leclerc's had a stonking one. In contrast, the pole man leads by over a second already onto the 2nd lap. Outside of DRS there, it looks like Leclerc is determined to not only make up for the DNF he had last time out, but maybe just get that first race win of the season. Or maybe I've just jinxed it by literally saying it right here. As we focus on Verstappen down in P9, having to watch a battle between Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin, Honda and McLaren respectively. Lando getting ahead in P7, fighting going on behind, and meanwhile all the way at the back is Esteban Ocon having an engine failure. The Williams goes up in smoke as we cut to the man who had a similar fate last time out. Let's hope the camera work there didn't jinx things either as we cut from an engine failure straight to Leclerc. Leclerc is nearly 2 seconds ahead, so that Ferrari, at least he has pace. Sainz maybe not so, but Leclerc absolutely guns blazing, and we need to get past Russell. We need to get past him because right now Leclerc is running away with this thing. But the problem is Russell, as he locks up into turn 1, he's just looking a bit feisty. He legit looks like we're in a heated rivalry with him. He was very aggressive on the start there, and you just get this sense that he's not going to make this easy. As we gain with DRS now on this straight, Russell veers to the left, the gap ever closing, so we go to the opposite side, the right-hand side, on the outside of Russell, but he's done really well at the apex to keep it through, and actually he's outbroken me there, and a little bit of contact, more contact made, 2 points of contact with Russell, as we now go on the outside again, and now Russell gets the elbow out. It's another bit of contact, 3 times we've tapped his side pod, and things are immediately getting a bit too frosty for my liking, probably way too frosty for Toto Wolff's liking on the pit wall. As, oh my god, Russell, mate, give us some room, lad, come on, as we make the overtake, get into 2nd place, but the gloves are off, you feel. The heated rivalry is on with Russell, and with all that fighting, it means Bearman and Stroll are there as well in the background as Russell now shoots past us with DRS. It's so powerful. Deploying battery there pretty much did nothing for me. But look at Ollie Bearman. Oh, Bearman, very cheeky. Has a look on the inside. This is unbelievable. I said this last episode. I did not think I was going to be seeing this much of Bearman, near my car. Obviously, we'll focus on him a bit, being our old F2 teammate throughout the season. But in terms of focusing on him, because he's here fighting us rather than just seeing how he's doing down in P18, it's been unbelievable for him. And now he's looking to make an overtake as we were trying to be patient with Russell and waiting for this straight to make a DRS overtake instead of the main straight, because I thought he would just re-overtake us. But now Bearman has seen that as an opportunity, and he's just dived it in between those 2 DRS zones, and he's made his own overtake. He's now into 3rd place, and I legit couldn't actually get past him throughout the lap, because obviously it's such a tight, twisting circuit. You don't want to make a mistake. A late lunge could be very costly, so we have to wait until the pit straight onto the next lap to finally re-overtake him. So Behrman really actually quite annoying me at this stage. You know, our former F2 teammate, a thorn in our side as we try and overtake our current Formula One teammate Russell, who is now the objective. He's the official objective that Mark has given me. So he's got the yellow marker and he's got the orange marker. The game is actually, it doesn't have enough room for all these markings next to his name. So the yellow marker's moved above his name. The orange one is on the right. So everything is telling me to get this overtake done and get it done by any means as we squeeze through. Russell almost puts us in the wall there. Side by side, we're now on the left. We're going to be on the outside and we're going to turn in and just hope that we don't get spun round. Russell has to submit and he is down to third place. But all that fighting has given Leclerc a massive lead. 7.5. I'm sorry, Ferrari and Leclerc. If you don't win this now, simply liquidate for the rest of the season. Leclerc, he should be walking this now. 7.5 seconds. I wish I would have the pace to catch him, but yeah, sure, we qualified P3 in quali. But basing off the pace just now, the fact that the high-tech was attacking us, I just don't see how we're going to bridge that gap to Leclerc. So second place may be the best we're hoping for. To be fair, not too bad for my other rivals. You know, they're low down the order. Lando down in P11 right now. But that's because McLaren have chosen to put both their drivers on hards, which is just a massive mistake, I feel, because they've got no pace right now. And Lando's fallen from P7 to out the points. So, yeah, a bit of a horrendous strategy call from McLaren there today. As we now cut back to our POV, pushing hard at the end of this stint, a bit too hard through the left-hander as we have a huge tank slapper. What a save. You saw the puff of smoke as I looked back behind me, still floating in the air there as the tyre on the rears is horrendous. It's not the temperatures, just the actual tyre wear is so bad on the rears now, and it's definitely time to come in on the next lap. But you'll notice Ollie Behrman as we're sliding through again at that same place. It looks cool, but definitely not ideal. As Leclerc's going to come in, we're going to come in for sure. But you'll notice there, top left, Behrman has overtaken Russell. So not only did we finally get Russell, Behrman's had enough pace to get him. So much for that amazing aggressive start from Russell. The high-tech is legit fighting for a podium spot at the moment as we come in and destroy the polystyrene board as we come in just about slowing the car down in time and get on those hard tyres, the hards that this Mercedes has loved for a lot of this portion of the season, as Behrman and Russell are fighting legitimately for P1 at the moment, on track at least, before the first round of pit stops for all of them. Russell gets into the lead, Behrman second place, but he just continues to defy logic and impress. You know, you've got Sargent, by the way, down in 19th. So just showing that it's not really even the car, it's just Behrman. Is as we now watch, well, should have been two Ferrari teammates, Hamilton and Leclerc, fighting. Unfortunately, in the game, we haven't seen that transfer happen, but equally still quite exciting to see Hamilton in a Red Bull, of course. But Leclerc overtakes him, having already made his pit stop, just showing the dominance of the man from Monaco in this race so far. We're fifth on the road at the moment, but the two McLarens are yet to pit, and you can see behind me, Behrman has lost out in the pit stops. The high-tech have screwed him over there. He's now behind Russell again, Sainz and Stroll, as we saw the two Toyotas nearly on the cusp of two top 10. So the Toyotas actually looking a lot better in the race here than they were in quali. Meanwhile, we are being attacked by Russell. Like, it seems like at the start of the stints, Russell's good, and then maybe he faces too much tyre wear, like even more than I'm facing, and I have faced with the tyre temperature issues. Like, maybe he's also facing these tyre temp issues, and we just haven't really noticed, because there actually has been a pattern of Russell being very good at the start of stints, but then he just falls away, because right now, look at this fight. Like, he's not giving it up, and at this point, I had to back off and just realise that we're losing too much time right now in general, and if I fight him too much, it's going to end in disaster. So I take the higher ground, and I'm the mature man. I back out that, and we're going to wait for the patient re-overtake with the DRS move. But Perez now is in the pits. Lando is the only one left not to pit in this race, I believe, and you can see he's 14 seconds down the road, i.e. Leclerc is P1, and he's even further. So, yeah, the only thing that's stopping Leclerc now is an engine failure, and that'll just be tragic as we go for the move on Russell again. not for the first time. He hardly gives us any room to work with. It's not for the first time I've winced when we go through for the move, because we get really close to one of the walls, either left or right of us, and the fighting can continue on to lap 17, because now not only is Russell going for the move, Sainz is as well. The DRS around here, just like in Monza, it's great, but it's also frustrating, because when you don't have DRS and you don't have a lot of battery, because I was down to like 10% there, you saw, no chance. You're a sitting duck, and I couldn't do anything about that. And either side of us, the Ferrari and Merc will go. But annoyingly and worryingly, the problem is now Sainz has got into second place. And basing off how quick Leclerc's been, this may be the nail in the coffin. Bloody Russell fighting us so much has allowed Sainz to get through, and I fear now it may end up being a 1-2 for Ferrari. Obviously, I know we've got a nice cushion in the championship, but it's obviously just the racer in you. You don't want another team to be getting a 1-2. Russell, again, flirting with us and the wall there, giving us just enough room to work with, but look at how in dire need of more electricity I need on the bottom right. I've got no battery. It's so hard to save power around here because you're deploying so much on these long straights, as there's a mega three-way fight between Verstappen, Behrman, and Yuki Tsunoda has just made a double overtake. That's the experience maybe playing in. Behrman going to the inside was always going to get pinched in, especially by Verstappen, and Tsunoda just takes the opportunity to make a double overtake as we continue to try and defend against Russell. Sainz has got away though. He's broken away by 4 seconds as we see Behrman now re-overtaking Tsunoda, and Verstappen now, having got past Tsunoda, having got past Behrman at some point, he is now getting past Russell, as Russell, as I said, characteristically falling away at the end of the stint, and he is up to P4. Obviously, Verstappen was on pole position fair and square on the Saturday, so he was the fastest man around here, and unfortunately, he might be gunning for the podium still, as Ollie Behrman overtakes Russell again in this race, and this time he may finish the race ahead of him. You know, the first time obviously in the pit stops he got back behind him, but Behrman up to P5, but I'm worried about Verstappen there. 2 seconds the gap, 3 laps to go. You can see Lando and McLaren, their strategies not worked today. They start on hards and they fell down to P10, and Lando is stuck in P10 because of the train. Both Toyotas ahead of them. You know, the Toyotas are having a great race today for a points haul, and Ferrari too are having an absolutely amazing day. They've not won a race so far here in 2026, and they may just get one here with a bloody 1-2. Kind of thanks to Russell, I feel, because I think we could have kept Sainz at bay if it wasn't for Sainz overtaking us whilst we were being overtaken by Russell as well. And now I'm worried about Verstappen, and the battery issue is coming back to haunt me. I just couldn't save any battery for the life of me. I don't know if it was anything to do with the recent patch and something's changed back to how it was pre-patch. I don't know, you know, with the deployment limit, but I just couldn't save a lot of battery. And so we're into single digits of ERS. And this is a problem because I'm obviously the car that's being chased. So I have no DRS to help me, and I don't have any battery to help me. Ergo, Verstappen is going like a stabbed rat right now, and he's in the slipstream. We're frantically looking around to try and see where he is. We're defending on the inside. It's a late lunge, lock up. Verstappen's still there, and he's actually, how on earth has he done that? He's managed to actually still come through on the outside. I mean, I've got to say, fair play to Verstappen. Take a bow there. I don't know how on earth he's done that overtake on the outside. When I locked up, I thought it might have been ropes. I thought I may have been putting both of us in the wall there. We were down to 4% battery, so I had no hope of defending that whatsoever, apart from trying to brake late. And I thought I could, well, either it was going to be a crash, or I was going to get the elbow out and completely squeeze him out. But Verstappen, obviously, you know, he knows his game. He knows his aggression game. And he equally got the elbows out and managed to claw his way up to third. There is still a final chance to maybe overtake him onto the last straight. But Leclerc's already passed and crossed the line. He's finally done it. He's finally got a race win here in 2026 as we cut back to our race here, looking to maybe do one final overtake to re-overtake Verstappen. Can we do it? We're going to have DRS, but we've got 0% battery. It's done. It's done. Oh, we're so slow. The DRS kicks in, but way too late. We needed half a more straight to overtake Verstappen there. Just the lack of battery killed us. If we had even like 5% battery, I'm convinced we overtake him there. But what a day for Ferrari. The first time they win this season, it's with a 1-2. Unreal. Unreal stuff.
And it's Monaco go for Charles Leclerc as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
A great victory for them today, Crofty. And, you know, it gets to this part in the championship, you're getting tired, you're feeling the fatigue of a long season. Not many races to go now, though. And if you can keep this kind of performance up, it's going to serve you well through to the end of the
Well, that first win of the season brings Leclerc back into second place in the championship. He is now the nearest person to me in the standings, 25 points off. So that's still a very, you know, in career mode terms, a very big cushion that we have personally. And it's just because we're trying to be as consistent as possible. Even though we got overtaken by Max and got off the podium, P4 is still amazing consistent compared to, like, let's say Lando down in P10 today. So that's where he lost points. And it's the same thing as a team. Yes, even though Russell got overtaken, we still scored quite well. We have been scoring quite well. So we are hanging on, you know, just even though everything around us is, you know, yo-yoing in terms of performances here and there. We are hanging on to this. But it's Ferrari's day today. It's also Ollie Behrman's day today with another great result. But guys, if you have enjoyed that one, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And if you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.